Raphinha, man of the match, and anyone who's seen him play this season, Jurgen, it's no surprise, considering how his form has turned around. From when he arrived, of course, there was all the talk over the summer that Barca wanted to get rid of him to bring in Williams, but since Hansi Flick has come in, he has been exceptional, playing without a doubt the best that we've seen in a Barca shirt. So how much is that down to Hansi Flick? And then how much is down to the fact that someone else was going to try and come in and take his number?
Yeah, I mean, he really inspires everybody at that Barcelona team right now. And it comes down to probably a very, very positive relationship with Hansi Flick. Hansi Flick is known as a very good people manager, player manager, in the sense of, you know, he looks after them, he gets them in the right mood. He's always positive every day when he goes to the practice field. So it seems like he has the right chemistry right now in this team, in this very young team. If you have the courage to play a midfield with three 21-year-old players, is just incredible, and it's working out for Barcelona. So it's very entertaining, obviously, and Raphinha shows that once he has the confidence and he feels happy and good, then he's capable to score the goals that he scored tonight.
Jurgen, how cool is it when you must have had that during your career as well, which he clearly has, that confidence you just feel every time you take a shot, it's going to hit the back of the net?
Yeah, obviously, when you have moments like this tonight and you score goals against Bayern Munich, one of the best teams in Europe, obviously, you know, that pumps you up. That gives you so much confidence. And the way he finished off his last goal was a matter of confidence. You know, he was bothered by the two defenders chasing him down and trying to block him still, but he was convinced that he's going to finish this off. And these are the special moments in your career and your season that you live off, you know, and there will be moments where you don't score a goal and you will doubt yourself after maybe 3-4 games not scoring. Then you think back onto those moments when you scored these special goals that gives you confidence again. But it shows you that there's a good spirit in this Barca side. It's been a wild game tonight because, as everybody says, you know, it could have gone differently also in terms of, you know, Bayern had chances and Bayern had their opportunities. But it will be a completely different ballgame, as Greg said, against Real Madrid on the weekend.
It's interesting. How much do you think, Stevie, the Williams rumours, does that make any difference to a player?
It depends on the individual. Right. You know, you'll have all kinds. You'll have a player who'll collapse at the thought of it. You'll have another player who'll just look in the mirror and say, right, I'm going to show him that this is my jersey. It really depends on the individual, and clearly Raphinha has taken it the right way and decided that if anybody thinks that his spot's up for grabs, then he's going to make sure that that doesn't happen. That's the way you answer those sort of questions.
It's clear that he's got I think that you've got to give a big shout out to the manager here because I think it's crystal clear he's pulled some of these players to the side and said, listen, this is what I want from you. You know, as Jurgen said, this isn't so much coaching them to death. It's managing them. It's massaging their ego and like saying, I'll give you time. This is what I want from you. You know, work hard in training. You know, end product on the field. Think end product. You know, be a good team. All these kind of things. And all of a sudden you're on the field and you get a goal or two and your confidence starts to build and you know the manager quite likes you and the place is happy and they're winning games and it sort of spreads. And it goes the other way, you know, when a club's a little bit rotten and the manager's under pressure and there's a few bad apples in the dressing room, it quickly goes the other way. But at the moment they're feeding off this and you've got to give a huge credit to Hansi Flick when he goes in here off the back of that German job and they've got all these problems and they've got all these injuries and it's still a juggling act and he doesn't know what he's going to get from Lewandowski at his age. He doesn't know what he's going to get from the kids. And don't forget, he lost young Marc Bernal as well, who was a starter for him in the middle of the park, got an ACL injury. And he's managed thus far, although the biggest test is definitely the weekend, he's managed to get all these youngsters mixed in with 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 experienced players. And you talk about getting a tune out of these kids, he's got more than that. Right
then, we've mentioned it a lot. Let's get to it, shall we? El Clasico this weekend. Brilliant lead up to it, considering Real Madrid scored 5, Barcelona, of course, 4 today. Jurgen, if you're Hansi Flick, how much are you looking to change things compared to what happened today? That high line, how much do you address that considering the threat that you know that's going to come from the likes of Mbappe and Vinicius Jr.?
Yeah, he definitely will change that. I mean, he will watch the game again and sees all those things, and he will take his consequences out of that situation. That highlight you cannot play against Real Madrid. He knows that. He will drop further back, and he will probably have one or two more defensive-minded midfielders in front of his two center-backs there. I'm totally sure. But this is also a good thing about Hansi Flick. He knows when to adjust. He knows to change. He's now not over the moon because he beat his old club with 4-1 tonight. You know, he knows to put it in, how to put it in the right perspective, and how to prepare the next game. And this game obviously is massive against Real Madrid. That's the game of the year, and he will adjust things. He will change things towards that game, and it's gonna be a super fun game to watch.
If you're Upamecano or Kim, are you having a conversation with Flick at all, Frank, about how things could be set up for Saturday?
Well, I guess they should have had a discussion before the game, but yes, I will have a discussion after, yeah, for sure, to know how to not repeat that kind of mistakes and how to work on that. I think Vincent Kompany thinks as a top former player that it's in his everybody, all centre-backs computer, the fact that, and Stevie explained that again, that when the opponent, have the time, that you cannot stay on the high line. You cannot go with Kane and disappear in the middle of the park where, you know, you have nobody to cover you, or people are not prepared, or you didn't work on that. It's common sense to work on that and to talk to each other and to cover each other. And that's a communication issue that they're having right now, because they don't know how to play together, and also how to compensate with a normal, as Jurgen explained, a normal number 6. Kimmich is not a number 6 for me. He's a fullback or the right back, but he's not a number 6, and he didn't cover in the first action. And it doesn't work like that. And at a top club, when you want to play top competition, that problem has to be resolved ASAP, because, well, they look ridiculous at some point, sometimes during the game.
Let's get back to Real Madrid Barcelona, whilst I just remember what team we're talking about.
If Luka Modric had been playing, and he may play at the weekend,
right?
Because Rodrigo's out, we think, or
yes,
he is out. So I'm guessing they're probably going to play Mbappe and Vinicius Junior with Bellingham coming from behind, and that puts him in his best position as a number 10. And then they can have 3 midfielders, which might allow him to play Luka Modric at the weekend. Maybe not. Maybe he goes with three of the younger, harder working guys. But let's just say Luka Modric was plays at the weekend, or he was playing for this Bayern Munich side tonight. He would have been, and Bayern really didn't have a player like this, but he would have been chipping balls in behind that defence with those little dinky outside of the boot passes that he plays around the corner. He would have been playing that for fun tonight, for runners to run onto. He'd have been dinking it in the channel, dinking it in over the centre-halves, whenever they squeezed up. So, as Jurgen said, maybe Hansi Flick won't change. I mean, I doubt that. You're going to go to the Bernabeu. You're going to go with, you know, 2 of the quickest players in world football, 2 of the most talented players, Kylian Mbappe, Vinicius Jr., with Bellingham driving from behind. You have to change your tactics. You just have to. Otherwise, you know, you talk about the one thing he's done with these kids. He has nurtured these youngsters brilliantly at the start of the season. The one thing you don't want to do is kill them. And if they go away from home to the Bernabeu and get battered by playing this high line, then a youngster's chin will drop quicker than a more experienced pro. So
if it's Kubasi and Martinez again, he will be doing them a big favour by telling them not to keep a high line.
Right.
Because they will settle down. Because for that period in the first half, they had no idea what day of the week it was. I mean, all they've got in their brain is, well, he wants us high, we need a high line. And so what you do, you start panicking. And then the red mist, you can't see things clearly, and then you see the mess that happens. So if Flick tells the 2 of them to just take a step back now, we don't need to gamble so much. They've got pace. Playing a high line against the type of pace that they have is crazy. And so he'll be doing the 2 of them a favour, and they can now just concentrate on getting a decent line and defend.
I think De Jong,
nice and simple.
I think De Jong might be ready to come in.
Right, he came on as a sub.
I don't think I would be surprised if Gavi was ready to play. Obviously, two of the most more experienced players alongside Pedri. Again, his game time has been very short after a long time out, Gavi. But I think Frankie de Jong's probably had just about enough game time that he could come in and sit in front of that back four and give them a little bit of protection, just a bit more experience in there. Not that young Marc Casado hasn't done well, he did fantastically well, but you just need somebody with a bit of nous to sit in front of that back four.
Jurgen, just take me through the next 48 hours. If you're in Hansi Flick's shoes, obviously tomorrow is about recovery. Can you do much then with the players if we're talking about switching tactics slightly? And then you have Friday, which really is your only session, isn't it, before our Classico at the weekend?
Well, definitely what Hansi is doing and all the managers are doing now between those short, you have short amount of time, these couple of days, is you regroup and you go through, you analyze definitely quickly the game from tonight and you talk about that, and then you have more tactical work than probably physical work, that's for sure. I think both teams, it's really fascinating to discuss both teams right now. They're having the same problem. You know, they do not have a high quality number 6, a person that cleans up things in front of the backline. Both teams don't have that. We talked about it last season about Bayern Munich, where were the problems. We always talked at the end of the day about this number 6 role. When I look at the big Barcelona team from 2008, 10, 12, in that kind of time frame, they had Puyol, they had Busquets, they had Piqué, and they played it blindly, basically. When one comes out, the other one drops back in and protected each other. And if Barcelona obviously plays it similar to they played it tonight, and they obviously won 4-1. But if they played in a similar way, then they're going to get killed by Real Madrid on the weekend. So it will be those adjustments that Hansi Flick will do, and when Carlo Ancelotti is tactically, you know, knows it all anyway. So it's going to be really fascinating to see these two teams facing up on the weekend.
It is, of course, a game you can see live and exclusive on ESPN+. We'll give you an hour-long preview ahead of kickoff at the Santiago Bernabeu. Be sure to join us 2 p.m. Eastern. And if you want an alternate view, then be sure to join us for the watch party during the whole match. Me, Craig and Ali will be here, plus special guests, including, I'm told, maybe Jurgen Klinsmann, as well as we'll be giving you our very alternate view on El Clasico.
Bias.